Hey, welcome to Let's Make Miracles.
I'm Alex, and
I'm Jen.
we're working through the Course in Miracles over the course of an entire year.
Yeah.
I see no neutral things. Lesson 17. Welcome back, guys. I see no neutral thing.
Do you want me to read this lesson? Lesson 17. I see no neutral things. This idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world. You see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It is always the thought that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. If it were not so, perception would have no cause, and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of its highly variable nature, this is hardly likely. In applying today's idea, say to yourself, with eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note long enough to say, I do not see a neutral blank because my thoughts about blank are not neutral. For example, you might say, I do not see a neutral wall because my thoughts about walls are not neutral.
Is this color not neutral on our walls?
I do not see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral.
Well, that's true.
As usual, it is essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animate or inanimate, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous.
I'm sorry, can we pause real quick? I feel like I'm tripped up on this neutral color wall right now. I have been told that this color is a neutral color wall. It's currently like a tannish, beigeish color that we're looking at. But anyways, I feel like this is neutral. Although, I guess it could be considered warm.
It's
neutral, warm.
It's dark.
Dark. You're dark. Sorry.
It's
You're not
okay.
dark. You're neutral.
As usual, it is essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animate or inanimate, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. That is because you are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy.
Okay, this got really, really heavy.
Great Scott.
No, like in a sad way.
It's okay. He's trying to compare
He's trying to bring me down, man.
the real world to this world. And although we have to live in this world, compared to the real world, it's not happy and joyous and alive. This is...
In my reality. And maybe I'm okay in my reality.
It's just comparatively. He's just comparing. That's all he's doing is comparing.
I don't like this comparison.
It's really hard to describe the real reality. So he's doing his best, but it's still very hard, even if you are really good at breaking down concepts and conveying things to people. What he's attempting to do with this book is permanently open your perception. 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for maximum benefit, even if you experience resistance. However, if you do, the length of the practice period may be reduced to less than the minute or so that is otherwise recommended. What?
Could you go over the joy, there is no joy part again?
Because all you're seeing is the illusion?
No. What he said.
His words exactly?
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous.
Logically, oh yeah, makes total sense. Emotionally, I'm gonna give him a big old bird. Be like, how dare you tell me that nothing is alive and nothing is joyous? Shouldn't everything be alive and everything be joyous?
Once you've shifted your ability to see, yes.
How do we know this isn't jarring my perception?
I don't know.
Maybe I already had that perception.
Maybe you did. Do you already view everyone as part of yourself? And everything is part of yourself?
I know that
Do you view no separation at all from yourself and anything else?
that's a really difficult yes, and it really depends on how I feel about that person. Because if they're a real a-hole,
Then you're
no.
making distinctions.
I know I'm making a distinction, and making that distinction is the best way that I can go about not losing my mind, for a better word, losing my crap.
What he's trying to do is make it so you can see that.
Oh, I see it. I know I do that, though. I know I disassociate or I separate certain people from myself. I do it as a coping mechanism. Do I know that we're all related? Yes. We're all the same air, blood. I've already gotten it. We're all the same. We're all the same little beings of stardust on this little planet Earth.
We are all just little slivers of the divine, not separate at all.
This is not like new news.
No, this is attempting to show you how to exist that way all the time.
But by showing...
He didn't say there's no hope. He said...
no joy.
Life.
Life.
He said he didn't actually say there was no joy or no life. He said you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. There's a difference. The world is completely filled with joy and life. It's completely alive. There's nothing that isn't alive. But the fact that we see things that are not alive means that we're not seeing clearly.
I should say bug that I saw.
We're not seeing clearly.
That dead bug was clearly dead. I stepped on him. I don't know of anything that can live after we stepped. Well, that wasn't dead.
The part that was alive never died.
I mean, the energy never dies, if that's what you're getting at. Everything's got energies. Everything's made of molecules and atoms and things, and you can't completely get rid of any of that energy. It just goes from one thing to a different thing, or to the earth. So, like that bug's energy doesn't just disappear, it goes to the earth, and then that goes to something else, and that goes to something else.
No, that's not what I'm getting at.
That's as far as I can go, for now.
Underneath everything, there's a big mass of energy. It doesn't really do anything, but it's completely filled with life and joy. And that's the real world. We're sitting on the surface of that energy, basically. And there's no real surface, but this is the best analogy I can come up with on the spot. And we see these shadows that we've created. This world is just a bunch of shadows that we've created. But it's not the real world. The real world is the joy and the life, the divine. And anytime we think we're seeing life, we're actually just looking at the shadow of life. When we think we're seeing joy, we're just looking at the shadow of joy. And for here, that's great, but there's much, much more available.
Much more.
I'm not going into The Lion King with you right now.
Like you were earlier talking about the shadow.
Alright, I'm done with this.
Alright guys, we'll see you for lesson 18.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us on our Facebook group, Let's Meet Miracles, or on our Instagram pages at Zenfully Ever After and Heart Lotus Guru.
If you could give us a review in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, that would really help us be more visible to more people.
Thanks.